Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and do a review of the Kiwi Ears Cadenza 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put some notes on the screen. Please note that whatever is in the notes is a little bit different from what's in the video, but just think of the notes as kind of like a live journal. So you'll notice that actually the notes here are actually a little bit incomplete. It's because I figured out the IEM in like 10 minutes. I know exactly what this sounds like, and I'll be able to describe to you what this sounds like. And it's actually disappointing, honestly, but whatever. So what does this sound like? This sounds, when I listen to it, it sounds really typical. And if I had to nail it, you can literally see it on the 5128 graphs. This is the Moondrop Cadenza. Like, to me, it sounds exactly like the Moondrop Cadenza. And the word I kept using every single time I was using the Moondrop Cadenza was, it sounds typical. It sounds like everything. It sounds like typical. That's what this sounds like. It's nothing special. It's very typical. Okay, that being said, let's go ahead and what does that mean by typical? Well, just go ahead and check out the reviews for Moondrop Cadenza. That's what it's going to sound like. But it's basically, if I had to describe this is basically like kind of like a brightish, but not super bright, but it's kind of like a brightish sort of IEM, with weak bass and thin vocals for male vocals and thin vocals for female vocals. And it's just not good. Like, this is I wouldn't say it's trash, but it's like not very good. I would say this is like a grade of C on everything. And let's break it down. Well, part of the problem and why this actually has some problems is actually the stock ear tips themselves. It's the same ones similar to the Singolo ear tips. And let's go ahead and flip it around so you guys can see. But this is actually the problem. The problem is that this is a bright leaning sort of IEM. However, in general, not always, but nearly every single time, I don't like to use wide bore ear tips with bright leaning IEMs. And so if you look here, you see these are all wide bore, and these are going to actually add more sibilance and make it a little more brighter. Usually, not all the time, but pretty much almost every time. So if you do process of elimination and you remove these out, the ones that are like really, you see those? You remove these out, then you don't have much to work with. Then that's all you have. Now that is too small for most humans' ears. So you basically only have two ear tips to work with, whatever's here and whatever's here. And that was the same damn problem I had with the Kiwi Ear Singolo. So the only workaround was to actually, ironically, to use Kiwi Ears Flex. And I don't understand why Kiwi Ears just doesn't give Kiwi Ears Flex ear tips, because in my opinion, these ear tips are so good, and they don't include it in their freaking boxes. I don't get that. It's just so stupid but maybe that's the point. Maybe that's why it's cheap. They're just kind of getting rid of this, and you're like, they figure you're going to get your own ear tips anyway. So the lesson learned here is the stock ear tips are trash, and you're going to get trash sound out of the original ear tips. But that being said, I still have to grade this IEM based on stock ear tips. So let's do it. All right, well, for bass, this is a grade of C. It is basically very lean bass. I don't like the bass. It's very just no power, no punch, very lean bass. However, it goes up to a B with Kiwi Ears Flex. It gets a little bit more warmer tilted, but it's still not quite good enough. It's like still kind of close to a C and a B on bass. For sub bass, this is okay. Sub bass is actually anemic on this thing. So if this is correct, as in like this is probably how the sub bass is supposed to sound like correct, like as in like that's what the audio engineer wanted, that's what the singer wanted, they want the sound of the sub bass to sound like this. Well, this is a little bit below that, right? So this is more polite, as in like this isn't correct, and you actually have to add more. So, and then this is anemic, like it's like, dude, you have so little sub bass. Believe it or not, with the stock ear tips, it is actually anemic, the lowest in terms of sub bass. So this is pathetic. It's really bad. But then when you add Kiwi Ears Flex, it just jumps up to polite. It doesn't really help all that much. So I'm not really excited about this sound at all. Female vocals are basically, in my opinion, they're a grade of C. They're very average. They're thin sounding. They're not synthetic sounding. They're more thin sounding. It's just like, oof, it's so thin. And it doesn't sound full. It doesn't sound lush. My grading scale is it's just really simple. Does it sound great? No. Well, then it's not A. Does it sound good? No. Then it's not a B. Does it sound average? Yeah, I mean, it's not bad sounding. It's like, it's average. So basically, it is a grade of C with stock ear tips, but then when you use Kiwi Ears Flex, it goes up to about a B. Like, it starts to sound a little bit good when you use Kiwi Ears Flex or whatever ear tips that add like a little bit more bass, because it's just too thin sounding when you use these stock ear tips. Okay, next thing is, let's talk male vocals. So male vocals, they all sound really thin. They just sound really, they don't have enough just in with male vocals. And when I added Kiwi Ears Flex, it was still thin. So it's a grade of C, whether you see stock, it's C. It's a grade of C for male vocals. And then with Kiwi Ears Flex, it's still a C. So it's very average, very not good when it comes to male vocals. Now, it's not a fail. It's not below average. I would say it's run-of-the-mill average for this kind of price for the IM. But it's crazy. I swear to God, I swear I reviewed an IM just like this. It sounded just like this, and it was like 3 days ago. I swear they both sounded the same, like kind of like a similar sound. Anyway, when I monitor with my voice, so monitoring is where I wear the IM, and then I speak into a microphone, and then I listen to what's being heard back. My voice sounds pretty much just like me. So it's neutral, but it's slightly nasal and it's slightly brighter. So it sounds like a Rode NT1A. And I'll use a Rode NT1A at the end of the video so you can hear what my voice sounds like. Sibling scores were actually pretty good on this. I was looking at the scores. Pretty much you're never going to get really any bad sibilants with this, at least with vocals. It was actually pretty good. Soundstage was pretty large, actually. I was actually like, this sounded like pretty, every single time I'm like large. I kept thinking, wow, that's large. That's wide. So the soundstage on this is like spectacular. Yeah, and that's pretty much all we got. So yeah, that's what it sounds like.